Yes. Yes. All right, Felix. Meandering sword.
What do we got? We'll do their actual house ending first, in case there's differences.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, as Duke Fereldius. Oh, really? Hang on. Yes. As Duke Fereldius, Felix worked for years to revitalize and rebuild his territory. He became the king's right-hand man. And everybody can stop right there and sing right-hand man from him.
Yeah, we can now. It's on Disney Plus.
Yes, serving
I was going to say he had a red right hand.
No, that's wrong. Serving as a trusted advisor on a range of subjects, especially military affairs. Later in his life, he inherited his father's nickname and was known throughout the kingdom as the shield of Targus' worthy successor.
All right, and all the other ones are the same. Yeah, all the other ones are exactly the same. So we'll see if there's any difference here.
All right. So that one was boring. And the other one is, even after the war's end, skirmishes continued to break out across Fodlan. Bored and restless in his capacity as Duke Fereldius, Felix abandoned his title, jumping at the opportunity to wield a sword again. Little is known about his whereabouts thereafter, but even many years later, soldiers continued to whisper rumors of a mysterious man able to deal swift death to scores of enemies. That's more believable.
That's, yeah.
This ongoing sorting.
Yeah, ongoing sorting. That's what it should be. Instead of meandering sword, that should be his conclusion name.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right. And now let's hang on for a second, John. You want to go whip him up a bottle?
Yeah.
All right. Bottle. All right. Bailiff.
All right, so let's start with Guardian of Order. Yeah, because these are all going to be real different depending on whether Dimitri's alive. Byleth married Felix, who had become Duke. Is it Fereldius?
Freldarius.
No.
Freldarius.
I think you said Freldarius in the game. Freldarius.
Just trips off the tongue. Duke Fereldius. Shortly after, she was named to succeed Rhea as Archbishop.
Duke Ferelden, from Dragon Age.
Yes. Felix. Now I'm confused. Felix focused his efforts on restoring his territory and the kingdom, and became the Archbishop's closest confidant, both privately and officially. They often spent a lot of time apart, but whenever they reunited, they had a tradition of crossing blades before crossing words. Attendants remarked that the smiles they wore on their faces during these bouts were never seen elsewhere. Is this a do not finish?
It sounds like a do not finish, actually.
I think it's a do not finish. I mean, it seems right on the edge if you do the remarks that the smiles they wore indicated to be something missed from the outside. But I think we have to go do not finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we got to lean do not finish.
Maybe they get married in one of these. Oh my gosh, there's a ton of different ones.
All
right, well, we'll do Empire first.
Yeah.
All right. Byleth and Felix were engaged to be married soon after the Battle of... What?
Sorry, it was so fast in this one. The other one was so subtle about it. And this one was like, they're married. Shut up.
Yeah, we're engaged to be married. So, Ferdiad. The war against those who slither in the dark was long and arduous, but they found solace always in one another. When the fighting was finally done, they held a modest wedding ceremony and entered a new life together as husband and wife. Where they went afterwards is not known, but is widely believed they traveled the world as mercenaries, side by side, blades in hand.
All right, what's this other one?
That's boring.
Yeah, boring.
Ruler of Dawn. Byleth married Felix almost immediately after ascending the throne of the United Kingdom of Fodlan.
Because they're all so different wedding-wise.
Yeah, when it came to matters of governance, Felix often took on duties that would have required his wife to dirty her hands, and thus became called the Royal Sword. After they accomplished all they had set out to do, the couple left the rule of Fodlan to the next generation, disappearing into obscurity with blades in hand. Thereafter, history only provides unconfirmed reports of a pair of traveling mercenaries who possessed unmatched strength and skill. Well, that's clearly the best one.
Yeah.
Of the three.
Yeah, but I mean, if you take the rule is we just look at the best one, right? We don't factor in the worst ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can go higher than neutral on this one then.
Yeah, I'm still neutral, but still clearly the best one. I have a weakness for the ones for relationships where one person does all the dirty work and it's an understanding that that's how it works out. I like that, but I'll go with neutral.
Yeah. I want a little bit more. I'm definitely left to read a little too much into it to give it better than neutral.
Yeah.
But the he was called her royal sword jokes. Notwithstanding.
Moving on
Man,
before
we almost made it past it. We almost made it past it. All right.
So we did Bernadetta and Dorothea, but I can't really remember what they were. Can we glance at them super quick? Just like
Sure.
click and... oh, right. Because we're done.
Oh, yeah. It was cold. She was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, yep, and that was boring. All right. Now, let's start... Yeah, because these are all going to be real different. All the blue lions are going to be real different depending on whether Dimitri lives.
That's true. And he only lives in the one storyline, so...
Wow. After the war, they went back to New York. Felix and Sylvain. I'm sorry.
That's 2 in one episode.
Well, yeah. After the war, Felix and Sylvain inherited their respective titles of Duke Feraldius and Margrave Gautier, and set to work restoring the kingdom. Each led a busy life, but that only seemed to enhance their friendship over the years. Each became known for making surprise visits to the estate of the other in order to deliver the latest taunting and friendly but relentless game of one-upmanship. It is said that, in their later years, they became so close that they passed on the same day, as if conceding that one could not live without the other. I don't think that's a do not fish. Now, let me tell right now that on AO3, anyway, this is by far the most popular ship. And there was plenty happening in the game that it was completely believable.
This is just Thomas Jefferson and John Adams.
It really is Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, and I don't think it's just the Hamilton in the back of our minds that think that.
Let's see what the other ones are, because we really need to gather all the info before we can make a call. And it looks like all 3 of them are the same, so...
If it's not, okay.
Even after the wars, and Sincerest of Knights is what they're calling him? Sylvain? They met him, right? Even after the war's end, skirmishes continued to break out across Fodland. Learning that there were still places where he could fight, Felix abandoned his noble title and chose to make a living with his sword. Decades later, he briefly reunited with Sylvain, who had need of his services as Margrave Gautier. Felix departed as soon as the job was finished, however, and the two never met again. Years later, a sword that was thought to have belonged to Felix arrived on Sylvain's doorstep.
Wow, that's even
I don't
less.
like that. Yeah.
Let's go back to this one. I don't know.
I think it's do not finish.
I think it's scraping the surface. Like it's trying to break out from do not finish, but the surface tension has not actually broken, and it's still under there. So
yeah, it's another do not finish where the potential is there. Like if you just actually.
It's do not finish in the truest sense of the word. They did not finish.
Did not finish.
Yes. They edged the ship, but
yeah, it's good though, and I understand why people are super into it. All right, Mercedes, benevolent soul. Shush now. After the war, Felix inherited the title of Duke Feraldius. I'll do this eventually. Feraldius from his late father, Rodrigue. A year later, he married Mercedes, who helped complete the rebuilding effort by paying special attention to children who had lost their families during the war. When their efforts were complete, they settled into a busy life together, with Felix serving as the king's trusted retainer and Mercedes supporting him in all things. It is said that ever so often, the pair would venture out of their territory in order to visit a graveyard for fallen imperial soldiers. There, they left flowers on a mysterious, unmarked grave and prayed for the one who rested there. So that's her brother, but boring.
Do you remember? I don't remember anything about their supports. Does anyone remember?
No, not really.
yeah, no,
Boring.
Let's see what the other one. Are they all the same? They're all the same. All right, let's just read one.
Yeah.
Of these.
Even after the war's end, skirmishes continued to break out across Fodland. Learning that there were still places where he could fight, Felix abandoned his noble title and chose to make a living with his sword.
Sounds very familiar.
He traveled the land, seeking battle as if he had a death wish, but his violent path came to an end when he reunited with Mercedes. She had begun a new life as a cleric in service to the goddess, and with her kindness and generosity, she was able to turn his life around. No one knows what became of them after that, but the tale of the swordsman who made warriors across Fodland tremble with fear all came to an end at that point.
So that one even seems like a do not finish.
Seems like it, but it seems closer to a finish. Like they both went off together.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and
Yeah.
she managed to find the trick to like
The sun's going down now.
fixed his fighting. Yeah.
I think we have to go with the one that was a definite finish.
Yeah,
and it
I don't
wasn't
like
very
it.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a bad ship.
Bad.
Bad. Moving
Yeah,
on.
bad.
The trick with ships is it works so much better when at least one of them has a personality.
Yeah.
Yes.
After the war, Felix inherited the title of Duke Fralius from his late father Rodriguez. Sometime later, I'll pronounce it the same eventually.
No, this is a bit now.
Sometime later, he married Annette, and the pair earned renown together by working hard at restoring their territory.
It was that
to and
Thursday.
beyond.
4 days. 4 days.
Yes, and beyond its former glory. The people adored the pair, Felix for his fierce determination, and Annette for her boundless cheer. Years later, Annette threw herself into songwriting with the support and encouragement of her husband. She produced melodies that remained popular for generations. The lyrics became distorted over time, however, and the original meaning of the music was lost. Kind of boring, but I do remember that I liked their support.
Yeah,
where he kept catching her singing, and it was cute.
I like at least that they tied their supports into the ending a little.
Yeah.
Exactly. Agreed.
All right, well, let's see what the other one is.
They're all the same. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. After the war, Felix intended to abandon his noble title and make a living with his sword. Oh, intended.
Ooh.
On the day that he was to depart, however, he was waylaid by Annette, who begged him not to leave her behind. Instead, she proposed that they relocate to the officers' academy when it reopened and take up positions as teachers. When the school did reopen, it is said that the new sword instructor was notoriously harsh, but eventually he began to enjoy his work. Or learned to enjoy his work. He was even seen to smile on occasion, but only in the presence of the friendly professor of sorcery. Oh, that's cute.
Okay, that's cute. Yeah.
That's
but
cute.
Is that a do not finish?
I think it's close enough.
I think it's, yeah, I'll give it.
Because remember, it's being told from the outside. So they didn't get married, but I mean, told from the outside, you could guess that they're secretly lovers the whole time. The two of them would probably do the, like, you know, I can see the two of them doing the secret lovers because Annette is too busy with her career and Felix is not an expressive type.
The only thing that makes me
thought of actually having a wedding, you know, gets him super nervous.
Yeah, I'm sure in the background at some point, though, Felix still challenged her father to battle for her hand.
Well, just challenge her.
I mean, yeah, just cause, frankly.
So, do we like that one better then?
Yeah, I like that better than the other one. It has a background, and it's something different than Felix becoming Duke or abandoning his title. It actually has like a
Well, and actually says something about the relationship and the other person actually supersedes what he was going to what he was going to do anyway.
That's
which
a very good point.
Anyway, and just about every other time.
Yeah.
So. All right, you talked me into it. So is that neutral or good?
Good.
I'm feeling good. Yeah.
All right. Good job, y'all.
Ingrid. Ah, yes. After the war, Felix inherited the title of Duke Fralius from his late father, Rodriguez. He married Ingrid, the daughter of Count Galatia, and the couple spared no expense in restoring both their territories, paying special attention to Galatia's desperate need for food and funds. Some years later, there was an attack on the castle town, and the Duke lost the use of his sword arm from an injury sustained protecting his wife. It is said that he never regretted it, as he was only fulfilling a promise that he made to his beloved wife a long time ago. Aww. I like their supports, by the way. Remember that they're all like childhood friends.
Yeah.
Felix and Ingrid.
Yeah. And Felix is the kid brother who would hang out because technically his older brother was actually the friend of the group.
Yeah, so I like their history. It's actually that's a really good case for a triad between the three of them.
Well, one's dead, so
well, and Sylvain. I guess
Sylvain is what I'm saying.
Okay, got it.
yeah. No, Felix, Ingrid, and Sylvain.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the more we read through that ending, the more I liked it. So
we'll
see what the other one is just to see.
Even after the war's end, skirmishes continued to break out across Fodland. Learning that there were still places where he could fight, Felix abandoned his noble title and chose to make a living with his sword. Unwilling to leave him to travel alone, Ingrid, too, relinquished her claim to nobility, and they both became wandering mercenaries. They skirted the line between life and death countless times in their dangerous work, but once they had a child, they settled down in a small farming village far from their homeland. With all but each other left behind, they began a warm and tranquil life as a family. I don't buy it. That's so out of character for both of them. This one's the better one.
Yeah, this one like they're like, yeah, we're gonna rule over territory and basically be the protectors of the country, and then we're like Felix gets hurt because he's protecting her. Is all very in character, all actually pretty dang romantic considering.
Yeah, I like it.
Good
It's got a hurt comfort aspect to it. It's a good ship.
Yeah.
Good.
Where are you going? The baby's trying to slide away.
Get away, baby! Escape! You can do it!
No! I mean, he can do it. That's
the trouble. Escape.
After becoming Duke Ferelius, Scholar of Misfortune, Felix married Lysithea, who assisted his efforts to restore both his territory and the kingdom at large with countless insights. She became known for walking among the people, sharing with them her wisdom. After her death, Felix received a visit from a local artisan who brought to him a cake and claimed that Lysithea had given him a recipe. Felix adored the flavor, enjoying that style of cake for the rest of his days. The people acquired a taste for it too, and Lysithea's treat became traditional in the north of Fargus. What? There's no... I mean, it's not a do not finish, but...
It's just...
They didn't even last a complete 2 sentences.
I mean, it's pretty well established with Lysithea's character that she's not going to live much longer after the end of the game unless something crazy happens. Mind you, we've also read endings where that crazy thing did happen because of the person she fell in love with, so...
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Let's see what the other ones are.
After the war, Felix abandoned his noble title and chose to make a living with his sword. He traveled the land, taking battle as if he had a death wish. But his violent path came to an end when he happened upon Lysithea.
Why does he fight like he's running out of time?
3. Who had been living in a small house in the middle of nowhere with her parents. Did it take you that long?
No, he fights like she's running out of time.
Seeing her condemned to live a shortened life, but smiling and making the most of every day with her family, convinced Felix that life was precious. He gave up his sword to join her, and the two spent their lives baking sweets. Lysithea's recipe became known far and wide, and the treat became a tradition for the people of that region. Well, that's better.
Much better. Yeah, that actually...
No, we like it. Well, the baby disagrees, but I like it. I'd get it. I'd put it at neutral. I don't think it's
another situation where it's just like, yeah, Lysithea's gonna die. Oh well.
Yeah, but that's a strong neutral. I like it. It's not. It's good for Lysithea. It's good for Felix. There's character development.
But you like the support too, where Lysithea is like, all right, we're gonna be secret sweets friends, and Felix is like, I don't like, and she's like, yeah, secret sweet friends.
Yeah,
I'd be all right with this one being neutral.
Yeah, I feel neutral about it. Yeah, okay. Blade Breaker 2. Leonie took over the mercenary group formerly led by Gerald. She made a name for herself as a superb mercenary.
Hang on, pause. Is your kid okay? Because that sounded like a demon was escaping.
Yeah. No, that's a totally fine noise from him.
She made a name for herself as a superb mercenary and was eventually hired by the young Duke Ferelius Felix. He entrusted her with many important tasks, and over time, Ferelius' territory became Leonie's home base. The two spent a great deal of time drinking together, but Felix, knowing Leonie's reputation and habits, learned to extract her payment for the drinks in advance. Well, that's a do not finish.
Yeah, it's do not finish. I think that's a pretty pleasant buddy ending, but it's definitely a do not finish.
After the war, Felix abandoned his noble title and chose to make a living with his sword. He accepted Leonie as his partner, and together they became wandering mercenaries. Their different fighting styles complemented one another well, and their combined skill was enough to handle any enemy. Sometime later, the mercenary group formerly led by Gerald joined them, and under their leadership became the most feared company in Fodland. After the post-war chaos passed, however, the work became scarce, and the pair eventually became so desperate they rebranded themselves as street performers.
I'm sorry, what?
They proved themselves surprisingly capable in their new profession.
How do these two never get married?
Yeah, I think it's still Do Not Finish, but that would be great.
What?
I
They're like
know.
the perfect weapon couple. Like it's like, how do they not get married?
And by street performers, I choose to believe that what they mean is
Mimes.
No, no, like doing fake fights where they basically pretend that like they've insulted one another in a bar, and then they fight in the street, and people like pass money to take bets on who's going to win, which side, and they fleece them.
See, I was imagining a scenario where Leone is just always shooting apples off the top of Felix's head.
That too.
They could, they've got options. They can mix it up.
I'm mad that this is a Do Not Finish.
Yeah, like I feel like that could have been a very strong couple, but
I mean, if you're just going to argue that Leone is gay, I'm okay with that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she gets married to other dudes.
Oh, she does. But if you're going to argue that the reason they don't is because she's gay, then okay. But
well,
I'm just, it's a Do Not Finish, but I'm
still Do Not Finish. Yeah,
very sad. This is very sad to me. I was expecting this to be one of my favorites. Oh well.
Are there a lot of Do Not Finishes? It feels
I feel definitely way more Do Not Finishes than we've traditionally.
All right. Well, after becoming Duke Fereldius, Felix married Flame, and the couple worked tirelessly to restore their territory. Thanks to Felix's dedication and Flame's compassion, they were well loved by the people, whom they visited and spoke with frequently.
Hello, peasant.
Hey,
I've come by your house.
How's the dirt on your face? Pretty good looking today.
Okay, no, we're not. I mean, this isn't Ferdinand, okay? Felix served as Dimitri's sworn sword throughout his reign. When the king passed away, he gave it up in favor of a quiet life with his wife. In later years, the sword was only used for parlor tricks, such as slicing juggled fruit out of the air, a display of skill that never failed to delight Flame. Which is way too, like, I was already like, and then at the very end, it really gives so she's still a child.
Yeah. Let's see if these other ones are any better.
Yeah. Even after the war's end, skirmishes continued to break out across Fodland. Learning there were still places where he could fight, Felix abandoned his noble title and chose to make a living with his sword. He traveled the land seeking battle as if he had a death wish, but his violent path came to an end when he arrived at Garrod Mach. It was there that he was reunited with Flame, who was saddened to see that Felix had continued to use his sword to kill. She left to travel with him, and it is rumored that her kindness helped turn his life around. No one knows what became of them after that, but the tales of the deadly swordsman did suddenly cease. So that's exactly the same as Mercedes.
Mercedes, though, they helped raise orphans, so it's actually slightly worse than Mercedes.
Yeah.
So either way, this is a bad ship.
That's bad.
Yeah.
I don't think we would need to discuss it.
Sorry,
Flame. Yeah. Even if we can go with yes, the stories of the swordsman mysteriously ceased because she smothered him in his sleep.
Okay, so we have to make a decision.
So I'm thinking.
So Ingrid, Annette, and Lysithea were the good ones. Sylvain and Leone would be good, but wound up as Do Not Finishes.
Yeah, and we're just gonna be mad forever about Leone.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah. And about Sylvain, because that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think Ingrid, where they were both serving Dimitri, and then he got injured, and that was the best one. Annette was surprisingly good, even though it was skirted a Do Not Finish. And Lysithea kind of had a thing going. So Ingrid, Annette, Lysithea.
Yeah. Go with that.
Go ahead.
All right.
And say that for Felix.